When I first became assistant principal here at the high school almost a decade ago, as part of my principal certification, I needed to shadow an elementary school principal since all of my teaching experience had been at the high school and middle school level. I spent the day with Mr. Andrews at Bridgewater Hebron Village School. It was then that Mr. Andrews shared with me that they had a new student who had come from an orphanage in Haiti after the terrible earthquake there. He went on to explain that he started second grade with us with little to no formal schooling. His primary language was Creole French. He often became frustrated, which either manifested in anger or withdrawal. However, Rolando did show progress. When he entered high school, Rolando was still below grade level in math and English. He received supports within the classroom and ESL services. He passed all of his classes. Through hard work and commitment, Rolando continued to grow throughout high school. The following year, Rolando was enrolled in all grade level classes and his grades improved. By junior year, he enrolled in a marketing program at the Career and Technical Education Center, as well as a running start computer class here at high school, earning him college credit. In addition, Rolando made the honor roll that year. This year, his senior year, Rolando is enrolled in 2 AP classes, statistics and macroeconomics, making honor roll again. Rolando's success can be attributed to his hard work and dedication. He is a committed athlete and pushes himself in attending homework club. As part of his senior project, he wrote a book, which is about his journey here to us, and he'd like to share his message with you today. By the way, his book can be found in our library. As a principal, I could not be more proud of this young man's journey to success.
Rolando, Sylvain Stott. Rolando is actually my Haitian name. I got that when I was born, and Sylvain is also my Haitian name also. When I came here, they added Stott, which is my adopted parents' last name. I also have Michael as part of my name too, but I don't really use that name, just mostly Rolando. The story to get Michael is actually funny. My parents were like to me one day, Rolando, what name do you want? I was like, Superman, because I liked Superman when I first came here. And so like we joked about it, and then a few days went by, and then they're like, Rolando, what name do you want? Change it to Batman. Yeah. Eventually, we came to the conclusion of Michael, and we took it from there. So today, we're going to be talking about Haiti and America, my journey from there to here, and then I'll also share my book with you. I'll actually read a few pages for you guys. And then after that, I'm going to compare some details of the schools, the infrastructure, just about everything you could think of. And this is like the short little story. This is like a preview. This was me at the boys' orphanage in the car. We start driving very young there, I guess you could say. And that's actually me all the way on the right. My last football game. It was a very good season. And that's my adopted dad and then my adopted mom. Very great people. I really enjoyed what they did for me throughout the years. They're very helpful and generous, and I appreciate that. Beginning. So it all started with my dad. We're living in a typical one-floor housing. And the years were going by. Everything was going very smooth. My dad was a farmer, and my mom usually stayed home most of the days. My older brother, would go to school. One morning, I woke up early, and then he was making breakfast, and he gave me some of his breakfast, and that's a good memory. I mean, I like food. I tend to tie my memories to food for some reason. But it was a very good life. Everything was running smoothly. And then 3 years later, my brother and sister were born, Eli and Emily. In the middle, that's Emily. Her Haitian name is Mishna, and then Eli's Haitian name is Schneider, but it's very complicated to pronounce, so my American parents just use Eli and Emily for them. But after they were born, I don't really remember being in the house with them much because they were so young and I was very small too, so I only remember some things but not everything. But after they were born though, my mom actually ended up dying because I guess after they were born, she got infected, and then in Haiti, there's no like healthcare system like in America, so if you want to get treated, you gotta pay like money up front. You know, if it's like 20,000, you gotta put 20,000 on the table. So because she didn't get treated, she ended up dying, and then my dad could not go to work at the same time and take care of us. So he put my brother and sister in an orphanage, and then he had my other siblings, 3 of them. They were living with other relatives, so that made it a bit easier for him. After maybe about a few weeks, he put me in the orphanage with them. This was the girls' orphanage. I stayed there until I was about maybe 4 or 5. The younger kids usually get put in the boys' orphanage when they're very, very young because the owners, Miss Chris and Pastor Hal, that's actually them. On the right is Pastor Hal, and then on the left is Miss Chris. They just wanted to be able to take care of us a lot better. And they were very great people. I mean, they did the best they can. Haiti, you know, it's tough circumstances, but they made do with what they had. And then as orphanage kids, we enjoyed it, you know, like every day was a fun day for us. We didn't really complain. I mean, we all got along very, very well. The orphanage life was very good. I liked it a lot. Schooling in the orphanage. Yeah, in the orphanage, we had school Monday through Friday. It wasn't like the schools here, though. They put us in a classroom with mixed age groups. I mean, they did the best they could, but the main purpose of the teaching in the orphanage, it was more to prepare us because they knew that we'd all be getting adopted soon. So they tried to teach us a bit of the English language so that when we came to the US, we'd have a basic language to work with. And that really did help. The school in the orphanage was great. We made the best of what we could do. I could count probably up to 10, and that was it. But I'm glad they tried to help me though with English. Dunning an orphanage. This is at the girls' orphanage. I ate there a bit too until I went to the boys' orphanage. The food, it was very, very good food. I mean, I'm cool with just about any food. But, nutrition-wise though, it's not like the best food, you know what I mean? But we made do. Like, we didn't have as much greens, which you need as a kid. If you lack nutrition, you get a lot of health effects down the road. And when I came here, I actually upgraded my diet a bit more over the years. But it was very good. I mean, I liked the food, I liked the kids. It was very good stuff. And at the boys' orphanage, the system is kind of similar, but our tables are inside. There's one on the right and one on the left. It's a nice little system. The earthquake. So before the earthquake happened, I was actually in the process of getting adopted. And the 2 people you saw me standing with on the field, those were my adoptive parents. So when they started the adoption process, they saw a picture of me online, and then they started the process, and then they realized that I had a brother and sister too, so they started the process with them as well. And when the earthquake happened, it kind of sped the adoption process up ridiculously fast, because more kids were going to need help in the orphanages. And then the president of Haiti, he knew that too, so he kind of signed this bill that said all the kids that were almost done with their adoption process could go meet with their parents in all these different locations. Like my parents were in Miami, so I took a plane there to go see them. But when the earthquake happened, it was crazy. I was eating dinner with the guys at the table. The table started shaking, the lights too. We're all very confused. I mean, we didn't really know what was happening, you know. We all ended up walking out of the orphanage. We stood on the side of the road for a bit, confused, trying to figure out what to do. It was very crazy, the things you saw. I mean, there was a guy fighting over a car, people screaming, crying. It was very tough, and I felt bad for the people. But in the orphanage, at the guys' orphanage, no one got hurt, and the same with the girls' orphanage. But after we stayed on the side of the road for a bit, we ended up going to a playground, because it was the safest place to be. It was a nice open field, so nothing could fall on us and hurt us. We actually stayed at the playground for a bit, and then Pastor Hal, one of the managers at the orphanage, came and grabbed us, brought us to the girls' orphanage, and it was like a movie scene. I mean, everything was pulled outside. There was beds everywhere. Like, we're all sleeping outside because we don't want to risk getting hurt. And as that all was happening, after we stayed at the girls' orphanage for a bit, we all went back to the playground. And then that's when we all started packing and then going to Miami. Well, I went to Miami. Some other kids went other places to meet up with parents. In the US, coming here was very challenging. Like school, like adapting, because there's so many different things you have to understand. Like behavior, like how do you act, how do you learn, I didn't even know the questions to ask to help myself get better. But over the years though, I just learned from a lot of good influences, family members, teachers, you name it, everywhere. This is a picture of me when I was in 4th grade, and that was a picture of me probably, I think, my 2nd year of schooling for 3rd grade, but it was interesting though. My book, it's actually in the library. I'm gonna read a few pages for you guys about my football career. Alright, let's see what I can do here. In 8th grade, I got into football, which was challenging for me because of my inability to focus and comprehend certain things. I never felt sorry for myself though, but instead worked harder to get better. When I first began playing, I was terrible. I had no clue what I was doing, and was always screwing up. I began playing football after Brian Richardson, a former high school football player, encouraged me to play. When I first met him, his kindness was what brought me to like him and to listen to him. He believed I had great potential to be a good football player, and he was right, as he saw me get better over the years. I got little to no playing time in 8th grade, but I spent that year just understanding the game of football. When I came in for my 2nd season of football, I had made some progress, but no one really noticed. All people saw were the mistakes I made in games and in practice. We had a new coaching staff that year, and they were nice people. The coaches enjoyed how fast I moved off the line, and believed that potential to be a great defensive end. During my sophomore year, my coaches noticed right away how much I'd improved since the previous year. So they gave me more playing time on defense. That year, I did not make as many mistakes and had become better at remembering football plays, along with the motions. At the end of my sophomore season, one of my coaches came up to me and said, "Rolando, you need to show up more during the off-season to lift. If you do, it'll improve your skill set and give you more opportunities to be recognized at more than just state level." At the time, I was on a cheer team and told them that my cheering squad practice ran during their lifting time. My defensive skills came to light during my junior year. I'd gotten a bit bigger and faster. I started on defensive line every game. I made many sacks and had the coaches happier than ever. One thing I wanted to do so much at Sin was run the ball, but the coaches hardly put me in at that offensive position. I got mad at practice one day because I never got to run the ball, but no one knew it. No one knew I was mad. I did not show it. On defense, I did my job, but never was satisfied. That season ended with me being known for my defensive skills. After that season ended, I put cheer behind me and began lifting and conditioning. I didn't do it for football, but rather because I liked working out. In the end, all the hard work I put in doing off-season paid off. As a senior playing football, I was triple my body size and ridiculously fast. The coaches were in disbelief. No one expected I'd get so big in such a short time frame. During the season, my personality was very humble. I did not brag or get mad at people when they screwed up. My theory is that everyone makes mistakes. If I make them too, I can't yell at other players for making them. I was very focused on the game of football. I had learned from all my mistakes and carved a new me. The coaches could sense that my character had shifted. The whole season, I was surprising them with what I'd be doing in practice and doing games. They finally had me playing both defense and offense, and I gave full effort each way. Still, the first game of my senior year was a complete disaster. My team and I were all over the place, confused and screwing up play after play. We lost that game but should have won. I told myself after that game that it was my first time getting thrown the ball in game situations and that I could only get better from there. My coaches expected more from me during that game, but it was only in the following games that I showed them some magic. I started to average at least 3 touchdowns a game. The whole school labeled me as a football star, and I did not know how to live up to that. All I knew was that I wanted to run the ball. We ended that season with 3 wins and 4 losses, with me breaking the school rushing yards record. After our last game, everyone cried except me. I knew that college football would be the next step for me, so my career did not feel like it had ended. My coaches said they were very proud of how far I'd come. The next day, Josh Kershaw, my coach, went to a college recruitment event with me at Plymouth State College. After that, I felt a closer connection with him. In the past, he would always say, "If your players need anything, I'll do it. You're like family to me." I only believed that after being alone with him for the first time and get to know him more about him. I plan to play college football to see how far it'll take me. I believe that my football career really only began my senior year after I'd gone through so many challenges. That's that chapter. Thank you, I appreciate that. The U.S. is more developed than Haiti. Now we're going to be digging into the facts. Haiti, very hot there. Great country though. In the U.S., you get all sorts of weather. Coming here for winter, it was a huge surprise for me. When I actually first came here, I ran inside and then I came out barefoot in the snow because I just didn't know, because in Haiti, we always walk around barefoot. It's like part of our culture. I still walk around barefoot now, and people find it very bizarre. But, I tell them it's part of my culture. The overview of Haiti's education system. 90% of schools are privately run, which means that a lot of parents have to pay out of pockets for the kids to attend school. And it's very pricey. So a lot of kids do not really get to go to school, and this leads to over at least 200,000 kids that remain out of school in Haiti. In 2003 alone, World Bank found that the majority of 16-year-olds were in the grade 6 level. So there's a lot of mixed age groups, and school's just very expensive in Haiti. And I always see a lot of people complain about school here. I mean, without school, there's not much you can really do. I mean, America is built on an education system, Without it, there's really no America. Because if people are not educated, there's no jobs, and if businesses cannot hire good people to work for them, so then the government cannot get money to help people. So then, if we took out the education system, you'd see poverty just like Haiti, because we're built on education, which is why I do my best in my classes, because I've realized it's very important to help me move forward. Thank you. Overview of the U.S. education system. There's free education for kids up to 12th grade. There's 93.7 net enrollment ratio, which essentially means that the majority of people are in the proper grade levels, which is very good, because mixed age groups, it gets very difficult to teach kids different subjects, There was only 10% of students attending private schools in 2015 to 2016, which means public schools are very high here. We're very fortunate to have that. There is special learning opportunities, which I really enjoyed coming here, because it was very hard to learn English and be able to do math. But because they put me in those ELOs, I applied myself, and then the skill sets I learned in those classes, I applied when they put me in the classrooms, which is why I've been able to improve, was because they gave me that basis to work with. You always need a basis to work with. For me, at least, if I get the base of whatever that I need to do, I can improve myself to a whole new level. How they compare? In Haiti, the education system is not that good. There's really no public schools, so you're very fortunate to be able to go to school. And the education system is not that good. It's not like in the U.S. But what I do like about Haiti is, I mean, the people, they do the best they can with the circumstances they got. I have a theory. The circumstances you're in does not determine whether you succeed or have a good time. It's the mindset. It's the mindset, traits, and habits that you bring to them that determines whether you'll have a good time or succeed. Thank you. In the U.S., I mean, we got it very good, of great education system. I mean, in the school at least, the teachers really care. I mean, I can see that coming here. They all try to help me. And I was willing to help myself, though. That's the thing. There'll always be great help to help you succeed, but if you're not willing to take those first steps to help yourself, it's just pointless help. And I was always willing to help myself when I came here. And that's key. I mean, it's how I've been able to improve myself over the years, upgrade to different levels, you know. Like, the work starts with you first. If you're not putting in that work, it's not going to work out too good. But a very good education system. The schooling is very good. There's public schools, so we all free education for sure. The infrastructure. The U.S. infrastructure is not as good as it appears. In 2017, they received a D+ overall rating, and when the engineers look at the U.S. infrastructure, they look at the roads, schools, bridges, and all that good stuff. And 12 out of the 16 categories, they received a D overall. And the cost to fix it is roughly $2 trillion. According to Smith, he told CNBC that. Very expensive stuff. Haiti's infrastructure. After the earthquake in 2010, engineers realized how terrible the infrastructure is in Haiti. They examined many buildings. Winston Gunn was one of them, and he realized the materials they used should never been used to even build houses. So that was why so many buildings fell completely. When the earthquake struck, roughly 200,000 houses were damaged, and then roughly 193,000 were completely destroyed. And that's from intermittent investment banking. In Haiti, in 1989, there was 100,011 kilometers of paved road and 349,000 unpaved road. The roads in Haiti are not that good. At the orphanage, the roads, it was not dirt road, it was pure rocks, which it baffles when people complain, we got some potholes. In Haiti, we have no roads, you know? I mean, there's some parts that have good roads, but the majority of the roads, they're not really safe to drive on. There's rocks, like I've mentioned, in here, all over the roads. It's crazy stuff. How do they compare? The U.S. infrastructure is definitely more developed in Haiti. We got better schools, roads, sewer systems, quality of water. We can get water better. Haiti, it's getting its stuff there, but overall, they're very much behind. Water in Haiti. 69% of Haitians had access to clean water, while 17% could access sanitation faculties. After the earthquake in 2010, there was a widespread cholera epidemic, and that's part of the reason that a lot of Haitians cannot really get clean water, was because of that. And Haiti actually falls below the nation average of 80%, which is very, very low. There's been many organizations that have pitched in to help Haiti. Large organizations have raised roughly like $30 million just for Haiti's water system alone to get it up to date. There's been a lot of small organizations such as, what's it called? Yeah, but it's an organization that had 264 portable water technicians that they went in Haiti to help repair a lot of things, the water systems, pipes, a lot of that stuff. What in the U.S.? The U.S. uses about 322 billion gallons of water a day. They have 152 piped water systems, which is quite a bit, and they're fairly new too. There's been 56,000 miles of replaced water system in America. 80% of the water systems were less than 40 years old, and 4 were 80. America does have a very good water system now, but articles have shown that in a time span of 20 years, America needs to spend $472.6 billion to keep the water system up to date. How they compare? In Haiti, they don't really have faucets. Like a lot of the places not really have faucets to get clean water. So what you see here, it's very common to see in a lot of towns in Haiti, people grabbing water from sewage systems or anywhere really. In the US, we're very fortunate to be able to go to our sink and get clean water. Very fortunate to have water fountains, a lot of that good stuff. We're very advanced when it comes to water quality in America for sure. Haiti's government system. They have 3 branches of government, judicial, legislative, and Senate. They adopted their constitution in 1987. They have 30 seats in Senate and 99 for the Chamber of Deputies. And to be elected in the Senate, you go through a 1-round system, and if you get the majority of the votes, you win. And the president, it's quite similar, but you have to go through a 2-round system, and then if you get the majority of the votes, you get elected. The Chamber of Deputies, there's 99 seats. They're a lot smaller than the U.S. government system, and they follow the same process as the Senate. The president gets to serve for 5 years, and they do not have limited terms. They could just keep running and be president for as long as they want, as long as they keep getting elected. The U.S. government system. They have 3 branches of government. I'm sure you all know that. They adopted their constitution in 1788. There's 100 seats in the Senate and 435 in the House of Representatives. The president can serve for 4 years with limited 2 terms, unlike Haiti. In the Senate, they can serve for 6 years or 7. And there's 435 in the House of Representatives, and they can serve for 2 years, roughly. Yeah, 2 years. How do they compare? The presidents in America have 2 term limits. In Haiti, they can keep on running. Their government systems is very similar, but at the same time, they're different. I mean, Haiti's is a lot smaller for sure. There's less members in the overall office for sure. And these are their White Houses. They're quite similar. After the earthquake, Haiti's White House actually, it's called Le Palista, and it got crippled. It was completely destroyed. They actually had to rebuild it, which cost quite a bit of money for them to do. But when the government building got destroyed, it was very hard for aid to come in to help the people for the earthquake, because the government system was down completely, so it was very hard to regulate things. The U.S. economy. The median household income in 2018 was $60,179. Not everybody's making that much, because there's people that are very wealthy that actually increased the median quite a bit. Millionaires, a lot of people, billionaires, yeah, they do all that good stuff. The poverty rate in 2018 was 11.8%, which is slightly lower than previous years according to U.S. Census Bureau. There's 38.1 million people in poverty, and there's roughly over 300 million people in America, so those margins are very good. And the economy has experienced a lot of growth over the years, small growth, which is good. Haiti's economy. $870 per capita. There's 6 million people in poverty, and there's roughly 10 million people in Haiti. So the majority of the population is really in poverty when you think about it. The currency is losing value at 33%, with inflation rates falling at 20%, according to World Bank. There's been many natural disasters that take place in Haiti. 96% of the population is at risk of those natural disasters. A flood hit a few years ago and it destroyed roughly about 32% of Haiti's GDP, according to World Bank. And the earthquake doubled that completely. How do they compare? The US has a well-developed economy, and this is kind of Haiti's economy. They're getting there, but they're still very much smaller in the US. Let's see. I hope you guys got the joke.
Hope you guys like it.
Yes. But on a real note though, you can see over the years, Haiti has not really experienced much growth. Everything's been borderline flat for them. And the earthquake, before the earthquake happened, Haiti showed some potential growth. Bill Clinton actually passed this bill to trade with Haiti, and it helped their GDP grow by billions. Like the growth was in the billions for them. It helped quite a bit. But when the earthquake struck, it crippled everything completely. It kind of broke Haiti's back, and right now they're still trying to recover. There's a lot of riots that are happening in Haiti right now. A lot of people want the government to step down because they don't feel like the government's actually in it for them. So it's very unsafe. I actually plan to visit at the end of my senior year, so I'm hoping that everything has calmed down so I can do that with my grandmother. U.S. economy. As I mentioned, a lot of great growth. We can see in 2009 there was a huge dip in the growth. That's because the banks, like part of it was the banks were printing way too much money, and they were giving them to people who could not even afford it, and they'd buy a lot of houses, and that caused some serious inflation. But we have managed to bounce back from it, and we've showed a lot of small growth over the years, which is very good stuff. We're excited.
Rolando, thank you for sharing your story with us today. If you have a chance, check out his book in the library. I also have an online version.